I can't say around, but I know it's gonna be. I'm gonna punish him.
Okay, all right. So early?
Why can't we all just be
Yeah.
Suspense is killing me.
For start,
Errol Spence has fired a powerful message at Tim Tszyu ahead of their long-awaited showdown. The former unified champion says he's coming into this fight with one goal in mind: to make Tszyu pay once they finally meet inside the ring. With pride, power, and personal tension building between them, this is shaping up to be far more than just another championship contest.
I didn't feel like shaking his hand because he's one of those guys, like, he talk a lot of
Yeah.
you know, behind the scenes, saying how he's gonna stop me and how he's gonna knock me out and do me like Fundora did Keith Thurman and things like that, and then you want to shake my hand. Like, why would I want to shake your hand? You talking about you gonna retire me, you gonna punish me and beat me? So I like, save it for after the fight. It's fight time, it's time to fight. Like, I'm not looking to be your friend, not trying to shake your hand. We going to war, so let's go to war.
Former world champion Shawn Porter has taken a close look at the matchup, explaining how the contrasting styles of both fighters could ultimately decide the outcome. He believes the battle for control of the pace will be one of the biggest factors, and whichever fighter successfully imposes his rhythm may end the night with his hand raised.
We're gonna get in the ring with what we could say is maybe a B- fighter now, maybe just a mid B fighter in Tim Tszyu. You're gonna get in the ring with a mid B fighter and think that you're gonna be this A fighter that you've always been. Absolutely not. But at the same time, Errol's talents and his style is not predicated upon what is essential for game time, right? What's essential for game time? Timing. What's essential for game time? Finding rhythm.
Sparring?
Those are things that you can find in sparring, but for a fighter that fights off of reflex, a fighter that fights off of this athleticism.
Porter also pointed out an area where he believes Tim Tszyu could face a disadvantage. According to him, Tim didn't benefit from the same level of amateur experience as many elite champions and has worked with fewer coaching influences throughout his career. Porter feels that facing a veteran like Spence could expose those differences when adjustments become necessary during the fight.
And Tim has more professional experience than he does amateur experience. And when you've only had professional experience with one coach for a substantial amount of time, and most of those times were good times. Again, when we're winning, it's masking us from the things that we need to work on. You know what I mean? So that's definitely a big scar for me. Again, when we speak to the game plan and you got Jeff Fennick in your corner, I like the mesh of this is my game plan. It fits who I am, and I got somebody who wants to do, so
Lived and breathed it.
I do like the marriage between Jeff Fennick, Tim Tszyu, who Tim is, his abilities, along with what
Sports analyst Russ Amber offered another perspective, explaining that Tim Tszyu today is a completely different fighter from the one fans saw a few years ago. He believes the setbacks, championship success, and comeback journey have all played important roles in shaping Tszyu into a more complete and mature competitor with a much deeper story behind his rise.
They were back-to-back fights. The Fundora fight and the Bakram fight was back-to-back, wasn't it?
Yep.
So, you have the luxury of coming off of a loss for a world title to fight for another world title, which doesn't happen all that often. Daniel Dubois just did it, but it doesn't happen all that often where you come off a loss and get a title shot. But it goes to show that sometimes it doesn't matter if you win or lose. It's how you lose that makes the difference, right? And sometimes how you win that keeps you off of it.
Amber also discussed Terence Crawford, recalling how many people underestimated him before he went on to strengthen his reputation with major victories. He believes Crawford's long-anticipated clash with Spence belongs in a completely different conversation because of what both fighters accomplished before meeting. While the Tszyu matchup is significant, Amber views it as a separate chapter from one of boxing's biggest rivalries.
And Errol Spence, who was highly regarded going into the Keith Thurman, into the Crawford fight. And now you see what Crawford did, you realize, wow, Crawford's really that good. He's that. Maybe we underestimated him because he's really that good. So what he did to Spence might not appear as such a big surprise now. So there's a lot of questions that have to be answered by both camps. And when you have those kind of questions, it makes for interesting fights. And that's what boxing needs to be about, right? It needs to be about interesting fights and see who's going to overcome. And this is a fight where both guys have to overcome in order for their careers to continue.
After spending a long period away from competition, Spence returns with a clear objective and a dangerous opponent standing across from him. He has made it known that he has no interest in showing respect to someone who publicly talks about ending his career. Tszyu answered by accusing Spence of confusing confidence with arrogance, promising that once they share the ring, he'll give the former champion a harsh reality check.
We're not supposed to like each other before the fight. That's part of the thing. But yeah, I think he's got a certain arrogance about him, and that could be because he made a shit ton of money and doesn't really need to be doing this and that type of stuff, and he really thinks down of myself. But that's all right, when we get in the ring, I really just want to hurt him, and it's quite simple. That's what boxing's about.
Yeah, it's gonna be telling like how he reacts to like the first punch. Like I think that's like the biggest thing is me observing is like I want to see how he's taking these punches to know like, okay, is it the same Spence or
do I want to be in there or not?
Bozy Ennis also shared his thoughts, urging Tim Tszyu not to underestimate the danger Spence still brings. He emphasized that Errol's strength and experience remain major weapons, while explaining that success will depend on how well Spence adjusts to Tszyu's pressure and aggressive style. In Bozy's opinion, if Spence sticks to the right strategy and remains disciplined throughout the fight, he still has everything needed to earn a convincing victory.
What should Spence add in this training camp for Tim Tszyu? He's been out of the ring for a while. Mm-hmm. What should he be doing?
What Spence should be doing? Spence should be Spence, man. But he must move his head though, because Spence should come right at you and just throw them punches. He got to and work on catching them shots. You know what I mean? If you ain't gonna move your head, you gotta catch some shots. You know what I mean? With your hands.
Decision and stoppage. How's that fight at?
I think it's gonna be a stoppage. Somebody getting stopped. And I'm going with Spence. So.
Errol, welcome back. How do you feel actually deciding to finally come back to the ring?
Tim Bradley entered the discussion with strong opinions of his own. He believes Spence has already seen enough different styles during his career to avoid being surprised by anything Tszyu brings into the ring. Bradley also criticized Tim for failing to evolve as much as he expected, arguing that the Australian may already be past his best years. He even made the bold claim that Tszyu has declined to the point where he could struggle against fighters well below Spence's level.
Man, Errol Spence, he's one of those fighters that know how to fight. He know how to fight. Errol Spence know what the hell he got to do. Errol Spence is the master of the basics. He know what the hell he got to do. Ain't nothing gonna change. He gonna let them hands go. He gonna take it to Tim Tszyu, and Tim Tszyu is one of those guys, stand right in front of you. He ain't one of them guys that pick up his feet and move. Nah, Tim Tszyu little brother better than him. He better than him. Tim Tszyu brother probably be whooping his ass in sparring. Yeah, he be whooping his ass. I already know he do. He lefty. He be moving his head side. You know what I mean? Like, I know he be whooping his ass in the gym for real. But they don't be talking about it. But yeah, I think Errol Spence, I think he gonna beat Tim Tszyu. He gonna knock him out. Tim Tszyu is done. He 31 and he done. Too much wear and tear. He got his knocked out a couple of times. Mentally, he seems like he's strong mentally, right? And he wanted, but his body is not out. It's not responding, like it should be. A lot of big knockouts and wars for Tim Tszyu, man. He get hit too much, and that's what happens when you get hit too much. Your time, hey, it's up real fast. Yeah, your career shortened like a mug. So I got Errol Spence in that fight. But it's good to see Errol back, man. I miss Errol, for real, man. He looking a little bit like Bob Marley.
Roy Jones Jr. and Andre Ward both expressed excitement about Spence's return, saying they believe he still has the talent to climb back among boxing's elite. They praised his willingness to accept difficult challenges rather than searching for easy victories. according to both legends, that fearless mentality reflects the type of competitor Spence has always been and shows there's still plenty left for him to accomplish.
Yeah, who made it to the top but had some struggles, and now he's on the incline trying to get back up too. So it's two guys trying to get back up. I think it's a great situation. But the biggest thing I gotta say that I love about Errol Spence is that Earl don't want no easy fights. Earl don't want to fight guys that are nobody.
He AKA somebody. No tune-up.
No,
he don't want no tune-up.
He wants challenges. You understand me? He wants challenges. And for him to challenge a person like Tim Tszyu, when Tim Tszyu has been regularly fighting for the last 3 years, he's been not doing much. That says a lot about Earl, but that tells you exactly how much fight is still left in Earl. Earl is a guy who's always coming to the party to dance. He don't have time to play no games. And you gotta love
that talks a lot, but he brings a big stick to the battle. And you know when you deal with Errol Spence, you gotta bring your lunch pail because he's gonna bring it and he's nothing to play with. Obviously, being 36 years of age, being off as long as he hasn't had the tune-up fights. And by the way, I need my tune-ups. Give me my tune-ups because boxing is hard. I need my tune-up because I need to sharpen my tools. I want to make another paycheck before I make the big paycheck, but that's just me. I need my tune-ups, but I respect this brother because he's not with the tune-up. And you got to know who you are. If Errol knows that I can't really get up for that guy, then I can only get up for these type of guys. You gotta know yourself. And Errol,
despite the excitement surrounding Spence's comeback, not everyone is convinced this is the right move. Lonnie B expressed concern about the risks involved, saying he doesn't want to see Spence suffer another damaging defeat. He believes years of punishment eventually affect every fighter, and no matter how talented someone is, the body rarely responds the same way after enough battles.
Not a punk, he's a real fighter, so it's just dangerous, man. I don't know how his body gonna respond to taking punches, you know what I'm saying? And with the car accident, I really think it's that car accident that but it's just personal for me, you know what I mean?
I got you.
I think Spence is a phenomenal fighter, but I don't want to see him even. I don't even want to even have the idea that he might lose to Tim Tszyu. You get what I'm saying? Like, this is Spence. This could possibly be a legend in the game. Like, I just don't want. Man.
They say Tim Tszyu's probably on his way out too. So maybe it's one of them things where like,
but I think
the fight is even because they're both.
Still, the arrival of veteran trainer Ronnie Shields has given many fans fresh optimism. Shields says he has already seen major improvements in Spence and believes the former champion has put himself into outstanding physical condition. He insists his fighter will be prepared for every challenge waiting on fight night and believes Spence is determined to surprise everyone who has already counted him out.
His punches are fluid. He's strong. And he's throwing the punches the way I think he should throw them. And, defense is looking good. So everything is going great. And, hey, everybody that's thinking he don't have anything left.
Boxing personalities, AK and Barack, also praised Spence's preparation, pointing to his current condition as proof that the lengthy layoff may not be as damaging as many assume. They explained that although Spence stayed away from the spotlight, he never stopped training behind the scenes. In their opinion, that discipline and consistency could become one of his biggest advantages when he finally returns to competition.
He's not fighting a champion. Tim Tszyu ain't a tune-up.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? He's actually a very skillful fighter. He just has some losses now. Losing in Fundora, getting stopped or whatever, that hurt him a lot. And so they're both kind of like in the same boat.
Right.
Even though Spence only has one loss, they're both in the same boat where they need a good name now to put him right back on top because they're right, especially Spence, you're right there. One good win.
I wouldn't disrespect Spence like that. I know you're not doing that, but they're not in the same boat. Errol Spence lost to arguably one of the greatest fighters of all time.
I understand
and that's his only loss.
And I think he can get a big fight no matter what.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tim Tszyu got to prove himself. But yeah, Errol Spence can have a big fight straight off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, he reigned at 147.
Many analysts continue believing Tim Tszyu will eventually discover that sharing the ring with Spence is a completely different challenge than expected. While they acknowledge Tszyu's toughness and determination, they argue that comparing both fighters on equal footing overlooks everything Spence accomplished during his years dominating the welterweight division. With only one defeat coming against one of boxing's greatest fighters, they believe this matchup could become another defining chapter in Spence's career.
Again, Errol wouldn't care. I'm looking forward to Errol Spence coming back, and I think Tim Tszyu's a perfect fight. I'll say it right now, and you can take it to the bank. I'm just saying.
Take it to the
bank. I think
bank.
Errol Spence would be too much for Tim Tszyu. I think this break is going to serve Errol Spence well. I'm so keen on that. I just think that he needed this break, and we're going to see a great version of Errol.
Confidence surrounding Spence has grown even stronger thanks to the fighters helping prepare him in training camp. Brian Norman Jr., who has spent time working alongside Spence, says fans should expect a completely refreshed version of the former champion. Based on what he's witnessed inside the gym, Norman believes Spence looks outstanding and even predicted that a spectacular first-round knockout isn't impossible.
Errol Spence, and I feel like he's going to be better than he was in the past. And what I mean by that is, first round knockout coming soon. And Tim Tszyu is going to sleep, man. The boy ain't got nothing for him. What dude from Australia? My boy, he coming to Australia just to give him the work, you feel me? But back to what I was saying, I just feel like Errol Spence, he's going to be a great fighter. Just doing the thing I see him in camp. And
Tim Bradley doubled down on his confidence in Spence by sending another strong message to Tszyu. He urged him to think carefully before stepping into the ring, insisting that Spence operates on a completely different level. Bradley argued that Tszyu shouldn't even be mentioned alongside a former champion with Spence's accomplishments, let alone be viewed as the favorite heading into the fight.
Earl gonna stop your ass, Tim Tszyu. Yeah, the battle of the veterans. That's it, man. Earl is a vet. He's a damn vet, man. He been through a lot too. He only got stopped one fight. I mean, as far as, in the ring, not a whole lot of traumatic experience besides that Crawford one, but he took the right appropriate time off. That car accident, that's a big thing. That alcohol definitely is a big thing, but other than that, I think he might be better off. I think he might be better off than Tim Tszyu right now. Tim Tszyu just ain't.
Teofimo Lopez also joined the conversation, saying this is exactly the type of matchup boxing fans have been waiting to see. He dismissed concerns about ring rust, believing Spence has maintained excellent physical condition throughout his time away. Lopez feels that after quality sparring and final preparations, Spence will enter the ring looking sharp and ready to remind everyone why he was once considered one of boxing's best.
Calling these guys to come back, man, because we needed something up in the sport. This is beautiful. And I'm very honored and grateful to be in the position I'm in while all this is happening. It's a dream come true. Errol Spence, Australia, Tim Tszyu. Heck yeah, I really want to see him win.
Do you think that ring rust is going to play a factor at all with Errol?
I don't think so. I think Errol Spence has been truly non-stop working out. He already looks like he's in shape now. And when you stay on that trajectory, when you're staying consistently on working out, it's only bound to happen with the sparrings and everything.
Andre Durrell, however, offered a much more cautious outlook. He warned that this fight could become the final chapter of Spence's career, instead of the comeback many supporters expect. Durrell believes a victory would instantly elevate Tszyu's status to another level, while questioning whether the punishment Spence absorbed against Terrence Crawford could affect his confidence and durability if he finds himself under heavy fire again.
Punishment happening, could it be soon? Absolutely. And then, just like Roy, he might not see this in his head, but his brain remembers the kind of punishment he took, So when he get in there and he take them shots, whether he thinks he's ready for it or not, his brain, his screening might not be. You know what I'm saying? So all I can do is hope for the best, man. But, there's nothing special, in regards to his skill set, right? Again, he's just a Kung Fu fighter, and he's decent, and what he does is he's a decent boxer, but he is. This could be potentially dangerous. Again, it's 50-50, man. This could be Tim Tszyu's fight on the map, and this could be Errol Spence's comeback, put him back on the map. But a loss of both of these boys, even a close fight or the wrong fight, tell us what we need to know about Spence. It might be time for him to hang it up, man. He should have been comfortable with hanging it up right now. He didn't need a win, or he doesn't need a win to sell off into the sunset. You did it all. You know what I'm saying? I think I had a great career, and I'm nowhere near what this man did in his career. You know what I'm saying? So some fighters just got to learn how to come to terms with that. But
as fight night approaches, one question continues dominating every conversation. Can Errol Spence prove that his time away from the sport hasn't taken away the qualities that once made him one of boxing's most feared champions? For Tim Tszyu, this represents the biggest opportunity of his career, a chance to defeat one of the sport's biggest names and completely transform his own legacy. One man is fighting to restore his place at the top, while the other is chasing the defining victory of his career.
let's go. Let's minus the Crawford fight, guys. Let's go back before the Crawford fight. And we know the big fish. Anybody standing in front of him, so I think that Tim Tszyu possesses the perfect style. He's gonna be right there. You know what I'm saying? You know, he lacks a lot of defense. You know what I'm saying? Maneuvers, and I think that's where the downfall is gonna be at. Other than that, he's a very tough fighter. He comes forward. He has a lot of heart. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's great. But a style like a Errol Spence walk down, that's not gonna be. That's watch. That's what I say.
Now everything comes down to what happens inside the ropes. Will Errol Spence answer every critic and show the boxing world he still belongs among the elite? Or will Tim Tszyu deliver the biggest upset of his career and begin a brand new chapter at the top of the sport? Let us know your prediction in the comments, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more boxing news and analysis.